Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here with the second video on graphing linear relations. The exact same kind of question as the first, just a different math equation. So this time it says use the linear equation y equals x minus 2 to complete the following tasks. Make a table of values using positive and negative integers for x and 0. Make 5 ordered pairs. So just like I did before, I'm going to make a table of values. This isn't the graph of anything in particular, so I'm going to call the left-hand side x and the right-hand side y. And I'm going to make positive and negative integers for x, and I'm going to use 0. So just like before, for my negative integers, I think I'll use -2 and -1. That takes care of my negatives. I'll have to use 0, so I'll use 0. And for my positive integers, I'll use 1 and 2. I could use any integers I wanted, just as long as some are positive, some are negative, and one of them is 0. But why not make the easy ones? Now we're going to use the math equation y equals x minus 2 to get the y values. So I'll write that down. I'm going to start off replacing the x with -2. So y equals -2 minus 2. The signs are the same, so I add them, and y is equal to -4. So when x is -2, y is -4. And then y equals x minus 2. I'm going to replace the x with -1 this time. Y equals -1 minus 2. The signs are the same, so I add them, and I get y equals -3. So when x is -1, y is -3. And I'll keep going, use the math equation again, y equals x minus 2. And I'll replace the x with 0 this time. So y equals 0 minus 2. And y equals -2. So when x is 0, y is -2. And I can see that the pattern is increasing by 1 every time, but I'll just check one more. Y equals x minus 2. Replace the x with 1 this time. 1, +1, and -2. And y is equal to -1. So when x is 1, y is -1. And then I can probably assume when x is 2, y is 0. So there's my values for my table based on that equation. Now, just like we did before, we're going to use another value for that equation. So it says determine the value for y in the ordered pair -12y by using substitution. Now, the -12 is an x value in this case. So I'm going to use the equation y equals x minus 2. I'm going to replace the x with -12. So y equals -12 minus 2. And we have 12 negatives and 2 negatives. That makes -14. So when x is -12, y is -14. Okay, the next thing, we're going to graph the ordered pairs from the table of values. So we're going to write the table of values numbers as ordered pairs. So I'll go back. The first one was -2, -4. So -2, -4. Then I think we had -1, -3. I'll just go back and double check. Yeah, -1, -3. 0, 2. When x is 1, or that was 0, -2. Yeah. X is 1, y is -1. Yeah. And when x is 2, y is 0. Now on the same pattern, we also have x -12, y -14. That will also lie on this pattern as well, just farther along the pattern. So now that we've got these ordered pairs, we can graph it. We're going to go to we call this the coordinate plane. and we'll label our X and Y values, our X and Y axis. Now, again, the values for X and Y aren't that large, so I don't think we have to get that fancy here. Where the X and Y axis meet, that's going to be 0. We can go +1, +2, +3. Make sure you're getting these right where the lines cross. +4, +5, +6, +7. And then the negative values, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. And then the Y values going up, we'll have +1, +2, +3, +4, +5, +6, +7, +8. And my negative values below 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. Oh, I've got to make sure I label those negative. -4, -5, -6. I think -7 is good. I think that's as far as we need to go. So there's my X and Y axis. This whole thing is called the coordinate plane. And now I just need to graph my points. Always X first, Y second. So -2, -4. I'm going to go to the left -2, down to -4, right down here. And you got to hit them where they cross, right? -2, -4. And then -1, -3. So to the left -1, down -3, right there. -1, -3. And then the next one is 0, -2. So we don't move on the x-axis, but we'll go down to -2 on the y. We'll call that 0, -2. And then 1 and -1. And then we also had 2 and 0, which means we go across 2 on the x-axis, but we don't move anywhere on the y-axis. Now you can see once again we have a straight line, a linear relation. Now we also have -12, -14, which would go off of our graph, but it would still fall on this line that we've made. And we're going to join the points on this line because this linear relation is a straight line, and it's not just the points on this line. We put arrows on indicating that this can go on forever in both directions. And this is the graph of the equation, y equals x minus 2. So on this line, I'm going to write y equals x minus 2. That's the graph of that algebra equation. It's called a linear relationship because this equation, when you graph it, makes a straight line. So that's graphing linear relations. This should help you with the assignment you have to do. I hope it did help. That's all for now. Flexing Teacher Weber, out.